Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I showed this in a previous video. I'll link it for you here, but I haven't had a chance to put it on yet. And I'm so excited. So this is one of the new 5-pan palettes from Pat McGrath from the Bijoux Brilliance collection. This is Bronze Ecstasy. Look how pretty she is. Oh my goodness. So I have been, like, I'll just admit it, buying too much eyeshadow. Way too much eyeshadow. I'm like, what was I thinking? But I think it was because these took so long to arrive. Okay, I will save my complaining for the previous video, which I linked for you, but I forgot that I had ordered 2 eyeshadow palettes. So, okay, so here we go. I'm gonna start with this kind of lighter matte shade here. I know that I have not picked up a holiday release from Pat McGrath ever. And I don't know whether it's because the colors are always a little too, I'll come back to Bill on that, don't worry. it's a little darker than I expected. Because the colors are always so jewel toned and brilliant, or if it's because I'm hearing that the eyeshadows are not the same quality as what's in the Mothership palettes, like the ones that come, 10 pans in the black enameled case, like that's gorgeous, but not everything can be at that $129 price point. But I heard last year that these little 5-pan palettes were really good. So I was like, well, let's get one. And I know this one is kind of like the, I hate to say boring Betty, but kind of like the everyday neutrals palette. But I'm just gonna be honest, that's what I wear. That's what I wear. All right, so I should also mention I don't have any eyeshadow primer down. This is just a bare lid with a little bit of face powder that lightly went over it to make sure that if there was any accidental concealer like on part of the lid, like right up in through here, that it was set and nothing would crease. Boy, this color is so pretty. Even this just by itself would be a beautiful, like, out the door. I'm gonna take this next darkest matte here on a slightly smaller brush, and I am going to kind of build up a little bit more color here on the outside corner. When I was swatching these the other day, I'll do some swatches of this for you as well, but you may want to watch the other Pat McGrath video that I put up. Oh, I am getting a little fallout. Okay, well, let's hope that doesn't, I don't have to work too hard to get rid of it. I noticed that the feeling between the mattes and the shimmers in here were different texturally than the mattes and shimmers in the larger Bijoux Brilliance. I think it's something Splendor. But the one that has like the greens in it, that's the other one I picked up. And it's beautiful and I really like it. But texturally, this 5-pan palette feels a little bit butterier, a little bit kind of richer. And the ones are in the larger palette are just a hair on the dry side. And I feel like, although they're not identical, I picked up a Utopian Dream this summer. It was like on crazy sale, 40% off, and I was like, yes, thank you. So I picked that up and it was a brand new Mothership palette. And the textures in there feel very similar to this. Identical? No, but they feel like these are closer to what you might get. And these are in the $30 range for 5 eyeshadows. And 10 eyeshadows in the big black packaging is like $129. I don't know. If you're not willing to like dunk your toe into the big enormous Mothership palette 10-pan, you might really like these 5-pans. And I always love a more edited color story anyway. I just need to blend. I'm getting a clean brush here. The one thing I will tell you is that you're not getting any of the Astral Blitz shades. That's one of the things that is special about Pat's formula is those really spangly toppers, those bake shades that are kind of like at the end of the palette. And I know that that formula is so unlike any other brand. They're remarkable, they're beautiful. Not that other companies don't have beautiful eyeshadow formulas, but it's really kind of what sets it apart because you can get beautiful metallics and beautiful pigments and beautiful mattes from other brands, but I really feel like those baked Astral Blitz shades that are so ridiculously sparkly are what set the brand apart. Now they're a little high maintenance for me and I don't always reach for them. And that kind of makes me sad. I'm taking the lighter of the 2 matte colors. I'm just gonna add a little bit down here. These 3 metallic shades are what super impressed me when I swatched these the other day. And the reason I can't wait to put these on my eye. Okay, I'm gonna start with this lightest shade here. And I'm gonna stick it kind of right here in the inner portion of the lid. I'm gonna take this middle shade here, literally on the middle. I'm gonna do that, go light, medium, dark all the way across the lid. But as you can see, I picked up a lot and I'm getting some sparkle fallout. The one thing I didn't do this time that I normally do is to use the Pat McGrath Artistry wand, which is like a mixing medium, but in like gel pen form. And I wanted to see if these would stay on the eyes all day without glitter fallout. And I have to do a really good job of picking up any glitter from application just to make sure that I can tell whether it's the product that continues to like fall underneath the eye or whether I just wasn't terribly good at getting it picked up when I was applying. I know we're looking a little crazy. I'm gonna take a mostly clean brush and just kind of blend right here. I'm gonna try and keep it as much like out of the crease as possible, but there is gonna be a little sparkle in the crease. I mean, that inevitably happens to me every single day. And I have some setting powder on a little tiny brush here, and I'm just gonna see if I can, oh yeah, it's doing a pretty good job of getting rid of the bulk of the glitter underneath my eye. I'm gonna pick up this little flat brush. This is my Bruffer 21, and I'm gonna go back into kind of like that champagne shade that I used on the inner corner. I feel like I'm getting a better distribution of sparkle when I use it this way directly from the pan. I'm used to applying like metallic shades like this with my fingers, so maybe these need a little bit more particular placement. I feel like they're also going to be prone to maybe bringing out texture on my lid if I just continue to build too much. So I don't want to keep doing too much of this, but I do want just like a little bit more. I'm going to pick up just a little bit of bronzer that I'm wearing today on, because it's matte, on this brush. And I think that's going to help kind of maybe reduce some of the sparkle right here. And it's going to tie in the look between my face and my eyes because it's a similar shade. It is a little bit lighter than the two mattes that are from the palette, but I feel like my rogue chubby, you know, sausage finger application of sparkle kind of got me where I didn't want to be. And in doing that, now I have to double check that I'm getting rid of all the sparkle. Let me throw on some liner, mascara, blush, and lipstick, and I'll be right back. Here are the swatches from the palette. This one here is Starlit Champagne. This is Merlot Mystique, Honey Nectar, Twilight Taupe, and Enchanted Bronze. I love the shimmers in here, and I feel like this Merlot shade has a little bit of a satin lean to it. It's not completely matte. It looks more matte in the pan, but this is kind of also got a little bit of a subtle glow. I don't know, I'd still say it's a matte, but I think you can see like there's a little bit of a slight hint of radiance here, where this is definitely more matte. I feel like the mattes in a traditional Mothership palette, let me grab one. I feel like the mattes that you're going to get in a Mothership palette like this are just a little easier to apply. And yeah, and they're more pigmented. Do you see how there's a little bit of a gap right here in the middle of these two? And here it's just a nice perfect swatch. I don't know how different these formulas are, but I'll say that I feel like this worked a little easier for me in application than this one did. I've only used each one once. This wore beautifully all day long. Again, don't forget to check the description bar for the video. But these metallic shades in here, although were pretty, were a little bit sheerer and a little bit drier texturally. I also found that if I applied the shimmers in here too heavily to my eye, it did bring out the texture on my lid. I have just a hair of that going on, but I built these up a lot more than I did the other ones in the larger palette. So if you have a mature eyelid and you're worried about increased texture, I feel like I'm getting it more from the larger limited edition palette than this one. These are the only two from the Bijoux Brilliance I'm planning to purchase. I'm not getting any others because I already got too many eyeshadows. And Pat McGrath, although the formulas are stunning, it's not always my favorite formula to use because there's a lot of sparkle fallout and it needs some hand holding and it needs a glitter glue or a Pat McGrath Artistry wand. And the truth is, I don't always want to do that every single day. Now, if you live and die by like super glimmery, glorious eyeshadows and you have all the tools and the tricks and you're good at that, I usually go for a more pared down eye, but I love the neutrals in this palette. This Bronze Ecstasy is such a beautiful little quint. If you are looking looking for just a little pop of glamour and you like natural things, I think you might really like this. And I do feel like this quality-wise is a little bit better than this. Now, I will have to leave you a comment below as to whether I continue to find little pieces of shimmer. I don't have any like really significant pieces below the eye at the moment, but we'll have to see what happens as the day progresses. Hey, thank you so much for watching today. I would love to know, did you pick up any of the Pat McGrath limited edition holiday palettes? Are you shopping holiday specific stuff at all for yourself or for a friend who loves makeup? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon.